Hello there, it's me again. Um, just a very quick video today because, as I alluded to in the last video, I have now finished my challenge for the year with quite a few months still to go. And that game was that I had a list of 20 games, but I could only get one game if I completed another game. So that challenge is now complete, and as a result of it, I've been able to add Pokemon Snap for the N64 to the collection. I remember playing that when I was younger, and it was great fun. But I didn't enjoy the last level where you have to take photos of Mew. That wasn't my thing. And I've also got myself Mario Party 2. I was planning on getting both of these boxed, but they just kind of were that little bit too far out of my budget for the moment. So they will come in the future, but for now, I've got those on for my in the collection. That's the words. But I thought I'd do a quick run through of the games that we've picked up throughout the course of this year. I can't remember which games I completed to get each one of these, but I can go through all of these that I've got literally sitting just there, and then I'll let you know roughly what my follow-up challenge is going to be. But I'll do a proper video because I've done about a third of the challenge before I've even begun. But that's a story for another day. So, the games that I've picked up over the last few months as a result of this challenge are Diddy Kong Racing for the N64. And yes, I have put it in a box protector. I need to get a few more of these. This is one of my favourite racing games ever. It's my favourite kart racer. I don't think there's a single Mario Kart game that has bettered Diddy Kong Racing. It's got a storyline to it. It's got boss races. You've got hovercrafts. You've got planes as well as karts. And in my opinion, this kicks Mario Kart's ass. So very happy to have that one boxed in the collection. I think I got a very good deal on that. I think that was an eBay auction where I think something wasn't spelt right, and I just happened to find it. So that's a very big positive. Looking at the pile, I'll stick with the N64 to begin. So the next one on my list, well, it wasn't next on the list, but the next one I'm showing you is 007 GoldenEye. Now, I'm knocking on 40. I don't think there's anyone around my age who hasn't played GoldenEye, who hasn't played GoldenEye in multiplayer. It's a very good first-person shooter, but it's also a perfect first-person shooter for someone who doesn't like first-person shooters. So, again, that's one that I had when I was younger. Apart from one, all of these games are ones that I had when I was younger. So, I spent a good bit of time on GoldenEye, although I think I only completed it once, and my brother completed it when he was like 2 or 3, because he's freakishly good at first-person shooters and always has been. Maybe he's just naturally violent. So, the next one was International Superstar Soccer 64, which, yes, it's a football game, yes, it's sports fodder, but I think this was the first 3D football game that I ever played, because I'd only played like FIFA 95 and a bit of FIFA 97 on the Mega Drive before I played this. So this it was a whole other world for me, and it was fantastic. I stuck with ISS, or Pro Evo as it became, for years until about 2012, I'd say, which is then when I went on to playing FIFA competitively, and yeah, that didn't go very well. But we won't dwell on that. But as I pointed out when I first got this one, it's still got its price sticker on, and I don't know if you can see that there. It was priced at $64.99 in 1997. Just mental. Considering the inflation that's gone on in everything, the fact that games haven't really gone up that much is really good. Let's see, the final one for the N64, and one that I need to get a box protector for, Premier Manager 64, with the lovely Kevin Keegan on the front. I bought this when I was about 14 through a catalogue that you had to send off for. I can't remember what the company was called, but you got a free gift. And I got an N64 controller that had a load of turbo switches on it. I bought this. I probably paid 50 quid for it when I was younger, and it was the first football management game I really played, and I loved it. I said I was going to just play a couple of matches to get used to it when everyone went to bed about 9 o'clock, and I was still playing at 4 in the morning with school the next day. So it's great fun. I did play probably half a season on a stream a few months back as well. It's an awful management game now compared to what's available, but purely for nostalgic reasons, it's well worth it. And I've just noticed it is designed to be used with an expansion pack. I definitely didn't have one of them when I was younger. What console should I go for next? I'm not going to go for a console per se. I'm going to go for the Atari ST. I've mentioned how much I love everything to do with Monkey Island several times over the last few months. I did get, without a box, Monkey Island, but it has got the Pick a Pirate in there and the instruction manual. It's everything except for the box. I'd love to get a repro box done, but I don't know where to start looking to get one of them made. If you know of a company that does repro boxes to order, please let me know and I'll see what I can do. But Monkey Island, I used to spend a lot of time at my grandparents' when I was younger, and my uncle was only 8 years older than me, so he had his computer, and it was just Ben's computer all the time, and we would go and play games, and Monkey Island was one of those games. Then Monkey Island 2 was, and then when I was 16 I went and played Monkey Island 4 at his. So Monkey Island has always been a big part of my relationship with that uncle, and the franchise is one of my favourite franchises ever. Monkey Island 2, potentially my favourite game ever, and I play through the first two every year without fail. So really happy to have it in the form that I originally played it. But one thing I will say is it's bloody slow playing it on the Atari ST. But I can't complain because I have it. I have it in my collection, and that's all that matters. Let's go for the SNES. Again, my intention is to get these ones in their boxes, but I just don't have the budget for it right now. And with the challenge I've got coming up, that budget's going to be taken up quite a lot soon. So the first one is Pitfall, which I think we had a SNES for about 2 weeks when I was younger, before my stepdad sold it. But Pitfall was the game that I completed on it. Just a very nicely animated, cartoony platformer based off of the original Pitfall from the real old Atari days. But it's got very almost Disney style graphics, and being about 10 or 11 at the time, absolutely loved playing on that. And the other SNES game that I picked up this year was Starwing, which it's not my favourite game, but just like I think I've said before, in my head there are certain things that just get associated with coolness. The Atari logo being one of them. And it's just, I hear the word Atari and I think, cool. And Starwing was that 3D game that was just beyond my reach always when I was younger. I've played it 3 or 4 times, but never got massively on with it. But I just wanted to have it in the collection to have on the SNES. So, I'll go for this one next, actually. This is one of the first ones I picked up after starting the challenge, and that is the Simpsons game for the PS3. I bought my original PS3 in HMV when I hadn't long started working nights when I was younger, and I bought myself a PS3 from HMV, and it came with the Simpsons game. So it's the first game that I ever played on the PS3, and so it's just got that little nostalgia switch just gets tripped in my head for it. And I've played it since I've bought it. Bloody hell, the platforming is awful on it. Genuinely, cannot think of any platform game that I've played in the last few years that is worse than this. I love the humour in it. I love the animation's a bit shonky, but I do like it. But just the platforming and the camera angles are shockingly bad. So I will go back to this to complete it, but ugh. One of the only games that I had on my list that I had never played before was Sheep, Dog and Wolf. I had a demo for it. Where is it? Ugh. Here it is. I had a demo for it that came with the PlayStation magazine, and I played that demo to death when I was a teenager, but never actually got as far as buying the game. So when I wrote the list, how far down was it? It was literally the third game on the list of games that I wanted to get, and since I got it, I've not got round to playing it. But I will do, and I'm sure I will enjoy it. Even if I hate it, I will make sure I enjoy it. But I love the animation. In terms of Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote is my favourite anyway. And this is basically his cousin trying to steal sheep while the sheepdog isn't looking. Which sounds simple, but there's got to be so many different layers of complexity to it. And so I'm looking forward to playing that. And I am looking to play my games a lot more than I have been. So the other one that I got for the PS1, that's a bit of a mistake there, is Tekken 3. Now, again, this one is linked in with my uncle. I would have been about 14. I had an N64 and would have been playing Legend of Zelda at that time. He came over with his new girlfriend and they brought a PlayStation and 2 games with them. And those 2 games were Tekken 3 and another game that I've got over here, although I've got it on Dreamcast for another reason, and that would be Worms Armageddon. And I literally spent a whole afternoon playing Tekken 3 Worms Armageddon, and it's one of the nicest memories of my teenage years. Worms Armageddon, when I first owned a Dreamcast, it was the first game I picked up for it because for some reason in my head it's that thing of the best place to play it is on the Dreamcast. So I've got Worms Armageddon. I absolutely love Worms games, and I don't think I've ever turned down a challenge of a game of Worms. I'm not great at it. I'm not one of those people that can change the fuses on grenades and fire it from one end of the map to the other, but I just love it. There's just something about blowing things up with minuscule cartoon worms that I don't think you can beat. So the other one that I've got for the Dreamcast here is Sonic Adventure. I didn't pay the price on that ticket for it. I wish I had. But you've got to have a Sonic game in there. And I may have more Sonic games still to come. But the first proper 3D Sonic game on the Dreamcast, everything exciting around the year 2000. I just want to get this one played. That's all there is to it, really. So now we'll move on to the other Sonic game that was on my list, which was Sonic Chaos for the Master System. When I was younger, I used to love Sonic the Hedgehog, particularly Tails. And so I had Sonic Chaos. It was the first game I ever got to play as Tails on. So that had to be part of the collection. And it's also been part of me getting my childhood Master System collection completed this year. It's not huge, but it's the games that I had when I was 10 or 11. Possibly even 12, actually, looking at one of these. So the next one that I got for it was Super Off-Road, which, for Master System, it seems to be the most expensive way you can buy it. I think I mentioned in the last video, I mentioned on Instagram actually, that this is probably my favourite racing game of all time. It's not greatly serious, but it's got a good challenge to it, and it's easy to pick up and play. This is the most expensive thing that I've ever put into the collection. But as I've already alluded to, with this challenge that I'm doing to follow up, we're going to end up spending more than that on some games. And then I messed up when I created the list by putting Monkey Island 2 for the Atari ST on there, which doesn't exist. So I had to come up with something else to put in its place, and that decision was for Bram Stoker's Dracula for the Master System, for no reason other than that is what I needed to complete my Master System collection from my childhood. I've had a go on it since I got it. I do not remember it being anything like it is. It's a lot easier than I remember it being, but I might have to do a bit of a play through some of it in a later video just to show what the hell is going on with this. Anyway, we've got 3 more to go, and then we are done with what we've picked up through this. So the first one, which was the first game I picked up as part of this challenge, was The Jungle Book, which I know you can get it in a bundle with The Lion King and Aladdin for modern consoles. I've played the other 2 to death. I've never played The Jungle Book, and I still haven't got around to playing The Jungle Book. So many of these I need to get around to playing, because I don't play these games enough. But it will be coming. I have plans. So the next game that I picked up for Mega Drive was Sonic Spinball, which I first owned this one in my early 20s when someone at work gave me a copy of it because they just found it lying around at home. It's my favourite pinball game ever. It's one of my favourite games ever. I am truly awful at it. I've got as far as the 3rd level twice, and I only really started to complete the 1st level with any degree of confidence after I did a challenge for it online earlier this year. So that's one that I was very happy to get in the collection. And then finally, the one that I covered in the last video I did, which is Garfield Caught in the Act, which I now think I may have owned on Game Gear instead. But I think I'm going to do a video on this one coming up very soon. So hold fire. It should be okay. So that's it for that collection challenge for this year, which I was kind of expecting to last me till December. So I've been thinking about what I want to do, and I've been looking through. I've wanted to make this challenge Mega Drive based because the Mega Drive is where my heart is. So I've been looking through my Mega Drive collection book to see what I can come up with. So the challenge is basically going to be that I'm going to go for all of the movie tie-ins for the Mega Drive, which I've tossed it out from my book, and I think there's 36 in total, and at the moment I have 10. But I'll do a run through of those 10 in a future video. But to make it a little bit more interesting than just I'm going to buy some games, yay, before I can buy any of the games, I have to have watched them within the year. So things like Judge Dredd are on there, which I may or may not have seen in the shop today. But because I've not watched Judge Dredd this year, I can't pick it up. So I'm going to have to be quite tactical with when I watch things compared to when I go to other places. But it will also open up quite a few games that I wouldn't necessarily have gone for normally. So there's things like Cutthroat Island, Lawnmower Man, and stuff like that, which they're probably not my kind of games at all, but it's a way of getting me to get on and play them. But I will go into more detail on that at some point soon. So, other than challenge stuff, with the other challenge for getting a Mega Drive game when I lose weight, I'm just gaining weight at a rate of knots at the moment, so I'm just putting the lid on that because I want more Mega Drive games. Simple. talking of more Mega Drive games, I've got a couple of pickups since the last video, and they're both eBay purchases. First one being FIFA 96, which cost about £2 plus P&P. Although I'm rather disappointed that they've been very selective with their photos again, because the case is like that. So I need to sort out another case. But once I've got FIFA 98 for the Mega Drive, that is all of the FIFAs sorted for the Mega Drive. And the only other game that I've picked up, again for about £3 plus P&P, is LHX Attack Chopper, which I've never even heard of until a few weeks ago, and definitely haven't played it, but it looks very similar to F-22 Interceptor. Yeah, it is Interceptor, which is already in the collection. So these are all games that I need to crack on and get on with playing. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and things like that. Yeah, see you next time.